everybody. Every single time. Okay, now it should be running. Are we running? You guys, those of you who are on YouTube, let me know. You must see, if everything is okay, you're gonna see the map. If not, then I don't know what to do. Do you have air conditioner? No, I do not. And honestly, I don't think we will ever get it. I mean, it doesn't really make any sense to get one here because you get an occasional heat wave like once a year for like a couple of days in these parts of the world. So it doesn't really, so we don't have it, not in the, cool like French and Italian, we don't have air conditioners because, it's good for our health type of way. We don't have it in just the boring old, thank you Karina, hi, in the boring old, we just don't really need it as much type of way, which we have fans, so we use those. Okay, yay, we're up on YouTube. Hooray, everybody. So yeah, we're also up on YouTube. Currently, there is a map showing. We're gonna get into the Ukraine updates in a couple moments. As often, працює. Добре, дякую. We have had 2 days of sun this... Only 2? Okay, Alaska. So I think that's why. That explains it. Oh, we've also had a surprisingly cold summer up until recently, which is not good for my cucumbers that refuse growing in such... atmosphere. Direwolf said, watching you on YouTube, on my TV, and on TikTok. On my well, that's a little bit too much of me, but thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you for sharing the live, and thank you for tapping the screen. I'm like a professional streamer, huh? No, not really. All good, Jose, no worries. Don't worry about me. I've seen on the news Russia sent hundreds of drones into Ukraine. Yes, they did. They did. Hi, Nick. But thankfully, the ones... You're talking about the attack from 2 days ago, so we're going to start from that. We're going to gradually transition into the strikes, you guys. So 2 days ago, we have seen an insane missile strike all across the country. A combined strike, actually. It was missiles and drones. So let me see. I thought I had an image, but maybe I don't have it anymore. So I'll just have to look it up. So this was, we're talking 2 days ago, right? So this was 29th of June. Обстрел mapa. That was, according to some of our sources, the worst, one of the worst strikes we have seen in a while. Some sources have even been claiming that it's the worst one. It's honestly really hard to evaluate whether or not, that's the case, because previously we used to have those types of strikes. The majority of the stuff that they would launch at us would come from... Okay, I think this one could work probably. The majority of those would be missiles in the past. This time it's mainly the drones. So 477 drones. Hi Tizzy, I thank you. 41 Iskander, 7 another type of Iskander. There are different types of those. There are calibers and there are Kinjali and there are S300. So pretty much anything you can think of. Wait, I actually wanted another map. Okay, this is all the devastation that was caused, but okay, no, we're gonna, that's too depressing. Let's go back to the map. So even in my area, we had some traces of that in a way that, so we didn't really have the hits, we didn't really have the strikes in our area, thankfully. We just had the drones passing by, which, yeah, just a thing that happens these days, unfortunately. Hi, Jonathan. So most of the times whenever it happens, we cannot see them, but we can hear them. They make the Shahed drones make this type of sound. It's like a motorcycle. This is why people usually often call them mopedy, well, basically like a type of motorcycle. And yeah, they were apparently on their way to Lviv because one of the targets that was hit was actually Lviv. massive strike. There were also other targets as well. One of the worst things that have happened during that attack was the fact that we have lost a pilot. One of the things that you guys asked me about in the past was whether or not we use F-16, like how do we use F-16 planes, whether or not the F-16 planes have been efficient. And I've told you briefly that yes, we use F-16s during the air raids. We use them as part of the air defense, and there are debates about whether or not it's a good use for them, but it's for the experts to decide on. But this is one of the ways in which we're using them, and yeah, it proves, unfortunately, more often than not to result in tragedy. So we lost a pilot, and we lost one of those planes in the 29th of June attack. So this is, if you are on YouTube right now, you're seeing an image. This is the pilot who was killed in action defending the country. His name was Maxim Ustymenko. He was born in 1993, which is just still crazy to me because these people are just slightly older than me very often. And yeah, so he was, according to the reports, he managed to destroy several hits, several targets, so at least 7, but unfortunately either from the debris from the drones or from something else. I don't think there was an actual detailed report of what has happened. The plane got damaged and he didn't have time to catapult. He was taking the plane away from the residential areas, and so he was awarded the title of the Hero of Ukraine post-mortem, and it's just an absolute tragedy. So this is him. I was reading one of the there were obviously a lot of discussions, a lot of the people honoring Maxim Ustymenko, the pilot on the internet. One of the people who wrote about him was the mother of another pilot whom we discussed in the past, who also died tragically during the training, and she mentioned that this pilot, Ustymenko, he is the 6th out of their year from the Flying Academy to receive this honor, the eighth one to receive the honor of being awarded this title of Hero of Ukraine, and the 6th one that received it after passing away. So yeah, just insane tragedy. And someone else, I believe it was Taras Shmut, the director of the Come Back Alive Foundation, the best, most trustworthy foundation for helping the Ukrainian army. He said that we're witnessing just the death of the future of our aviation, which is, yeah, I mean, it sounds harsh, but that's pretty much the case. So he died in this devastating strike on June 29th, you guys. So that's the one that's the attack that actually made it into the international news, I think. Most of them do not make it into the international news, only the most devastating ones. Compared to yesterday, the attack that we have seen today was better. It was only 107 drones. So, but yeah, these, I have to repeat myself, these things are happening daily, right? It's a daily occurrence, daily strikes, daily attacks. And let me see. Immediately, right, whenever you open the regional news like this, these are the news from Dnipro region. The first thing you see is the results of the strikes. The first things you see are the destroyed buildings, the fires, the same with Kharkiv, which has also been under fire. I just opened it and you can already see that the air raid alert in Kharkiv was over, only 30 minutes ago. They have multiple of those daily because of the constant shellings. So, yeah, that's the daily occurrence, which after some time, I don't really think, I don't even really have any new way to cover this. It's just, yeah, it is what it is. More destroyed buildings. And yeah, these are the images that I was just showing you. They are from a sanatorium, which is the meaning, the way we use it, it's like, it's the sort of a place where you go to just to get some treatment. for your body. So it's not in the same way that I think the word is often used in English. But yeah, it got destroyed. So yeah, unfortunately, that's the reality of the daily strikes. No, that's a different browser that I just opened. Sorry. So yeah, starting out on a bit of a dark note, everybody. Sorry, let me see what the chat is saying. Hello, hi Denise, hi Darcia. Were they coming out of Belarus? They were coming out of everywhere, just absolutely everywhere. Let me see. No, I literally had the map prepared and then I closed it down. Wait, let me see. Maybe I can find it. Mapa обстрілу, мабуть. What am I trying to say? For some reason, thank you Bailey, hi. For some reason, it's not, it's only showing me the Instagram. It's not the Instagram that I wanted to see. Okay, maybe I can... Recently, this Google Lens thing that Google came up with, it just wasn't good at all in showing images. Maybe it will show it like this. No, what is this? This is pathetic. Come on. Oh well. You can see it somehow. Sorry, it's super blurry, but you can see that it's coming in from... Okay, now that's a different attack. No, you cannot. Sorry, guys. Literally before the stream, I sit down, I line all of these things up, and I'm like, okay, that's the list of things, that's all the links that I'm gonna need, and then for some reason I closed them down, because who needs them? Another thing that okay, I'm gonna get into this in a second. Hi Marta, how's it going? Доброго дня, Джес, канадійка, вчу українську мову вже 3 роки, щоб допомогти українському мову. У вас дуже гарна українська мова, дуже дякую вам за те, що ви її вивчаєте. Good job, good job. What do you know about the Artan group? I don't think I know anything, unfortunately. I'm not entirely sure what that is. And hi to you too, sorry. Sorry I couldn't answer your question. Great to see you too, Bailey. Так, я в Україні, на Волині, Волинській області. Good morning, Josh. How's it going? And hello, Ineta from Lithuania. How's it going for you too? We're already talked about some of the dark stuff. Gonna talk about some dark stuff a little more, and then we'll probably move on, hopefully to something more optimistic. But to add to the topic of Sumy region, let me go back to Sumy. Good thing that once again it's been reported last time we were talking, it was reported the situation there was stabilized. Hi, Furman, thank you. Unfortunately, one of the problems that we have mentioned before about the front line moving closer and closer to the city is that now more stuff can reach it, and so different kinds of shellings are now possible. So what happened yesterday was an artillery strike that reached within about 1 kilometer from Sumy. Just another evidence of how devastating it could be when the front line is moving up closer and closer. So I think it's just something that it's just absolutely tragic, right? And there is absolutely nothing you can do about stuff like this except for trying to push the front line further and further away, which is not always working. So a friend's son signed up for 3 years with this mercenary group. Oh, okay. Now that makes sense why I wouldn't have heard of it, because these days there are so many. I remember when it was all getting started in 2022, we only had like this one, International Legion, and then it started to diversify and all of these different branches started to grow. And yeah, it just, I think I just sort of lost track. Good evening. Good evening from Scotland. Hi, Scotland. Oh, I miss Scotland. I am still so bitter and sad about the fact that I didn't get to experience it fully because of COVID. I had all these plans to travel when I was doing my semester in Glasgow. Героям слава, дякую. And then the plague. Who could have guessed? First the plague, then the war. What a wonderful life it has been. Hello, my friend, to you too. The family's doing good. Everyone is doing their thing. We already have 5 dogs. I don't know how long has it been since you last saw me. But yeah, the dog count is now at 5 and everyone is doing good. Thank you for asking. They started in 24, that mercenary group, right? Okay, well, maybe it's a good thing that you cannot find much about them, because that probably means they want to keep it on the DL, and perhaps it's for their own safety, because stuff like this is obviously number one target for the Russians for their strikes. So I can imagine they're probably on a hunt for any type of information about stuff like this, because understandably so. So you have to be really careful with this stuff. Hopefully, I imagine he understands this, but sometimes some people don't, and then tragedies happen. Hi, Carol. Hello. How is it going? Hello. Glasgow is beautiful. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Appreciate you all. Is there any signs of it stopping? You mean the war? No, nothing. No signs. They started talking about talking again. Which I know, it sounds absolutely exhausting, but yeah, this is probably as far as it gets these days. It's just talking about the talking and about the talking and more talking that brings us to nowhere. But, well, currently the prisoner exchanges are still ongoing, thank you. So that's a good thing. We managed just a couple days ago to get back a bunch of our guys. So this is believed by some to be like a good sign, that this is like a good sign of a stage in the talking, that maybe we will get to something solid. I don't really see this happening. I cannot imagine how we could possibly get to something. How could we possibly make some progress when, you know, this is the situation that we find ourselves in, and they can just continue beating us up with little to no repercussions. So, oh wow, really? You're on Ukrainian Association? Це дуже круто. Це дуже круто. Ви можете сказати, до речі, я член, like I'm a member, right? Але в українській мові є багато фемінітивів, то ви можете сказати, я членкиня. Я членкиня Конгресу українців Канади. To indicate that, you know, you're a female member. Which is, we have so many feminitives in Ukrainian, and it was, back in the day, it was absolutely like normal. When I was studying, when we had Ukrainian classes back at school, no one really minded that. No one seemed to mind that this was just, you know, a rule. But these days, with all of these gender wars and people just getting pissed at everything, they recently tried to cancel Ukrainian for having feminitives in it too. It's okay, Zoe, no worries, it happens. It happens. Someday we'll go from talking sentences to maybe even paragraphs. Imagine what, yes, exactly, that would be the progress. How we will celebrate. What a day that will be. So, yeah, alright, we talked about, once again, to those of you who just joined, we started on some sad news on the recent massive attack of drones, combined missile drone strike, and the fact that we have lost a pilot, whose name was Maxim Ustimenko, and we also lost an F-16 plane. So we have already lost, unfortunately, too many people and several of those planes. So yeah, that was tough one. We're not gonna look at any more images of the buildings burning, you guys. I'm sorry. I mean, it's just a daily thing and it keeps happening, so I'm not entirely sure, you know. You already know what they look like, so. But yeah, just another day in the country. Alright, let me see. Nема за що. Of course, I'm not a native speaker, right? But I have been speaking Ukrainian since I turned 6, so I would consider myself fluent. Although, yeah, I do from time to time, I make mistakes, but I can still help out with some stuff, so. Let's Let me see. In French, we use feminitives. Right, so many languages do. So this entire conversation about, like, whenever I hear these debates, but paplujete movu, they're saying, like, you are ruining the language, all of these females with their right to exist. Disgusting. And I'm always so confused. I'm like, this is what it's been like. I remember vividly having to drill these rules before the woke. It was like when did we have to study this? 2006, I think, 2007. We were learning all of these rules about all of these different nouns in Ukrainian language. Like, what are you even saying? But anyway, yeah, some people are just looking for a reason to get pissed at stuff, I guess. That's just the way they are. I think we all know this too well. And it's perfectly fine. And in fact, it's one of the beautiful things about Ukrainian language, and one of the things that differs it from Russian, because Russian doesn't have this many feminitives as Ukrainian, and in Russian, I think this is kind of a core issue of this, whenever these so-called like Ukrainian speakers try to start this discussion, they're actually referring to Russian in their head. And because in Russian it sounds funny, which I don't even think it would sound funny in Russian, they automatically sort of translate this into Ukrainian and they think, it sounds so funny. Членкиня, письменниця, like, just like, what? First of all, you also have some... Anyway, this is just a pointless gender stuff discussion. I don't know why I'm even telling you guys about this. Everybody does this. If you think, it's just, on the English-speaking internet, we're having all of these gender wars and stuff like that. No, it's everywhere. It's everywhere, it's ongoing, and it's maddening, especially when you have so many things in the background, like in our case, you have an actual war going on. Who has time to fight about this nonsense? Some people do. Hi, Maddie. Hello. Which language do you think in? Now, this is going to be a controversial one, and I know a lot of you guys don't approve of this line of thinking, but I do not believe we think in a language. And it's actually not just me. Some scientists also think we do not think in a language, that we think in images and associations. It's just the process of translating those images and associations into language usually happens so fast. It's just like this, right? You don't really notice how you translate it into a language. So I believe we don't really think in a language. And to me, it's this chain of thoughts, and depending on the circumstances, depending on the situation, I sort of put them into different, imagine like pipes going, I don't know, from inside my brain, and you just pick a pipe and you control the flow. I guess that's the situation. It sounds insane. I know, but hi Feisty, long time no see. What language do you dream in? Oh, that's poetic. Now that I think about it, what language do I dream in? Sometimes I have dreams fully in Japanese. That's weird, because my Japanese, I wouldn't say it's that good. It's upper intermediate, but it's not fluent. But whenever I have dreams about Japan, it's usually all in Japanese. With subtitles? No. I'm trying to think. I think it's a mix. Of things. I never really pay attention to this when I'm dreaming. I'm mostly paying attention to locations and stuff. And also my brain likes to do this thing where I can clearly see that this location is one thing and the brain is trying to tell me that it's actually something else. Like, it likes to tell me that, oh, actually you're in Japan right now, we're in Japan, we're gonna go around Japan. And I'm like, yay, so exciting, I'm in Japan. And then I look around in my dream and I realize this is not Japan, this is Zhytomyr. This is not Japan. But my brain keeps acting like it's Japan and everything is in Japanese, but it looks like Zhytomyr. And what? Oh well. One more thing that I wanted to mention. One more quick look at the chat. Wow, I have never heard that about linguistic cognition. I remember, if you mean the part about the images and associations, I remember reading it, like an article about this such a long time ago, and like almost memorized it because it made such perfect sense to me. Because all of a sudden I understood what my brain was doing all along, switching in between all of these different languages. And another interesting thing that your brain does when you know several languages is like literally your pattern of thinking changes. So the way I would phrase certain things and the way I would discuss certain topics is different depending on the language. And I mean, it makes sense logistically because, for instance, like when I talk to my parents in Russian, like Russian doesn't have, and by the way, Ukrainian too, I think, they do not have a lot of the vocabulary that English has for, say, talking about emotions and mental health and psychology and stuff like this, because it's not something that people talk about. I think it's like a cultural thing, perhaps. So you have to choose, like you have to approach it from an entirely different angle, when in English you can just, call it for what it is. Yeah, so your brain does all of these weird, like Jackie Chan style exercises depending on which language you're speaking, what the situation is, who are the people you're talking to. Yeah, it's pretty interesting. Anyway, hi TJ. Hello, Heroem Slava. Thank you for stopping by. Nice to see you. Wait, what did I miss? Did I miss something? The language is so... Okay, so Russian, Ukrainian, English, Japanese, these are the ones that I'm fairly confident in. Then I think Polish would be the fifth one, but I'm really embarrassed of speaking it because I have very thick accent. And same with French. Again, I think I'm pretty decent in reading in it, but I wouldn't speak. And not because French people bully other people, which is, by the way, not always the case. Sometimes they're very helpful. But just, yeah, I need more practice. I think I'm forgetting something. But yeah, I used to be able to read in Chinese, but recently I've opened some articles in Chinese and I was like, no, I forgot it. Anyway, one thing that I wanted to discuss regarding the front line, quickly, now that I have remembered and haven't gotten distracted. So those of you who are on YouTube, you're seeing a screenshot from the map. We're going to look at the map itself in a second. So it says about the recent Russian advancement in Volnovakha and Bakhmut areas of Donetsk Oblast, right? So Donetsk Oblast remains target number 1. Let's go to Donetsk Oblast. They obviously, thankfully, still have yet to reach the... well, as you can see from the map, there is still like a pretty significant piece of the region there's thankfully under Ukrainian control, but also you can see these areas that have been occupied, that haven't been occupied just about, a month ago, right? You can see this is the most dramatic part when we see the advancement that has happened in the last 29 days. And so there has been some advancement because, of course, there have been. This area is probably the most disturbing one, moving from Toretsk. Because you can see there is a potential for a cauldron, and unfortunately, whenever something like this happens, and we're all following the situation, everyone is extremely worried that, the cauldron might actually become a cauldron by the enemy closing down on our forces. So everyone is just waiting for the situation to either stabilize or for the troops to hopefully withdraw in the most organized way imaginable with as little losses as possible, which is not always the case, unfortunately. But yeah, so this article that I just had opened, it refers to, the advancement in the Volnovakha area. There is a place called Yalta in Volnovakha. I had no idea. Okay. Well, that's interesting. Wait, Yalta, really? I only know one Yalta. Is this my Crimean superiority talking? There's another one. Oh, thank you. Hi. Yep, we have 3 Yaltas actually. Okay, it's 2. I think it's 2. No, that's the Yalta. We have 3 Yaltas. What is happening? Okay, this is so confusing to me right now. Wait a second. We have 3 Yaltas, you guys. I had no idea. And 2 of them are already occupied, and the 3rd one is about to get fully occupied, which is a tragic part of it. So that's, I guess, a bad day to learn that we have 3 Yaltas. Okay, so this is where the breakthrough was, right? You can see this is what the article is talking about. So just yesterday it was still marked as gray area, and today you can already see the advancement. One of the trends that, again, I think I've mentioned in the past with this particular map too, for understandable reasons, to protect the information. Obviously, it's not updated like in real time, and sometimes things are kept in a little bit of a fog of war. But most of the times, whenever you see something being a gray area, chances are it could actually be not as gray after all. But yeah, that's just one of the recent advancement, and you can see how they're moving. They're moving in, trying to close this area that I'm currently showing you on the map, getting to the road, because the road is the logistics, and just sorry, got distracted with the frontline situation. Let's go back to the to the chat. I only know 1 Yalta too. It's in the 12 chairs. Yes, it is. Oh, you read 12 chairs. I love it. It's the Yalta, you guys. It's the Yalta. It's the one from Crimea. But I think most of the people know about it because of the Yalta conference, right? It's so beautiful. Last time I've been there was years ago, obviously, but it's just such a stunning place. I'm just showing you some pictures that the Google shows you when you look up Yalta. Why is everything such poor quality? Is this my internet connection? Sorry everyone, if everything is blurry, it's because I think something is off with my internet today, and that's why the stream was lagging slightly on YouTube and the pictures are slightly blurry. But yeah, I think you get the idea. It's nice. Yalta is nice. It always felt a bit unfair being from my area of Crimea, which is Western Crimea, and then traveling to the Southern Crimea, which has an entirely different, which looks like this, right? It looks with all these beaches and mountains, just stunning, and ours is like a frying pan with 3 trees. Like, how does that happen? But no, our parts were also pretty nice, I think. Okay. Let's see. Oh, you visited Yalta. When was that? Oh, this is so cool. It is beautiful, isn't it? It's just stunning. It's just, yeah. It's been such a long time. And yeah, you guys, 3 Yaltas, I know. Never knew 2. We're learning together. I had no idea we got 3 Yaltas. Well, we had 3 Yaltas. Now we have 0. Russians took all of our Yaltas. 1 wasn't enough for them. They decided to take the rest of them as well. Okay, a little break to show you the cup that I haven't had in a while. Some of you might remember this. It's one of my favorite ones. It's not practical, I know. Before you come at me, it is super impractical, but it's so pretty. Look at it. Huh? And I'm on a little bit of a pink theme today because my shirt is pink, the earring is pink. I also have a surprising number of pink stuff surrounding me, like this incense, which is also pink. And my planner with a moomin on it, and it's also pink. So yeah, using pink stuff to distract me from the depressing reality that we live in. Sounds like Central California. Wait, which one? The Yalta one or my parts of Crimea? Hi, Brian. Hello. 20 years ago. 3 weeks there. 20 years ago. Wow. So that was what, 2005? Yeah, I think that was a good time to visit Yalta. I also think that I was there sometime around those, now that I think of it, because we went with my class. I think I was in 5th grade or something when I went there. Okay, I'm not entirely sure. Maybe we were there together without even knowing it. Thank you, Carol. You know, I love some cup appreciation. It's a good cup. Wait. Kristen is asking something that I missed. Only asking because they just came out with a new postcard from Japan. Who did? Lego did. No. Oh, this is so cool. Wow. I don't even know where to get one here, honestly. Definitely not on my swamp. Wow. Oh, wait, let me look it up. Sorry, guys. We have a little bit of a distraction from the missile strikes and stuff. We're gonna look up Lego Japan. A postcard from Japan set. From Japan. Wait, is it this one? Oh, this is so adorable. Would you look at that? Oh, this is nice. It has a Fuji-san and a sakura and a little bridge and a lotus flower. How cool is that? And a bamboo. Lego has been popping off recently with some of the stuff that they have been making. It's so cool. Wow. Okay, I want one. Now I'm sold for this. No, but it's very nice. Thank you for telling me. I will be in pain from now on. Happy chat. Oh, happy chat sounds good. Wait, how do I get into the happy chat? Okay, you need to invite me, Maddie, into the happy chat. Please do that. No Lego orders to Ukraine. I'm not entirely sure. I have to look it up. Maybe they do, but honestly, I don't think my parents will ever forgive me if I do something like this. It's enough already that I'm stuck in perpetual childhood. No Moomin mugs, you guys, sorry. I know, again, weird that it happened. It looks like I should have at least 5, but no, I will in the future. It's one of my goals for this life. Hello, Christopher. Hi, Kathy. What madness are you discussing this morning? So we talked about the strikes. We talked about more strikes. We talked about the advancement in Donetsk. We're also live on YouTube, by the way, you guys, if you'd like to see the screen that I'm showing. So yeah, we've just been, I've been yapping about other unrelated things as well, because why not? And yeah, we'll also have a bunch of other things to discuss. We have this rumor that Trump is lifting the sanctions from the Russian banks, which was already debunked, and we're going to talk about that and how it relates to Hungary. So yeah, other stuff as well as always. Today's pretty nice and chill. But you know, we have to, unfortunately, despite, no matter how nice and chill it is, we still have to discuss Hungary and Slovakia. It's inevitable. And Trump. Wait, let me get my gigantic jug of tea and try and pour it in a teeny tiny cup. As I do. Alright. That's the stuff. Hi, Welshie boy, how's it going? As an adopted Finn, I approve of Moomin everything. I mean, I am not an adopted Finn, although, if any of you would like to adopt me, you guys from Finland, I could be your internet adoptee, but... Alright, so that rumor about Trump allegedly lifting sanctions on several Russian banks. So this account that I'm currently showing you on the godforsaken hellscape that is x.com was one of the culprits in spreading this disinformation, but there were also others, and the title that they chose to use for this post was Trump administration just lifted sanctions on several Russian banks close to Putin, which immediately caused the uproar, and everyone is in the comment section is crying. It turns out, if you actually look this information up, the paper that they have signed, this is actually looks like the actual document. And also some double checking shows you that, yeah, it probably, it's the thing. And it's just something that they have continued pretty much. It's something that expired and had to be continued. And this is just transactions related to civil nuclear energy that have been agreed upon before and have been happening all along. Thank you. Why have they been happening? It's a completely different conversation, just entirely different. But they have been happening, and they've been happening for a while, so they have just continued that. What does this have to do? I have read some mentions about some uranium cells potentially, but no one really knows in detail what it actually is about. But for the purpose of this general license, the document says the term related to civil nuclear energy means transactions undertaken solely to maintain or support civil nuclear projects initiated before November 21st, 2024. So no scandal here, no drama. And this is where you might wonder, hey, why was everyone saying that they lifted the sanctions on the several Russian banks? Is it just because of these few posters on social media? Well, that's the people who spread this nonsense. There are also other players that add to this. For instance, Hungarian Minister of Foreign Affairs, Peter Szijjártó, who stated that the US are lifting the sanctions related to the Hungarian nuclear power plant called Paks, which is controlled with the direct involvement from the Russian, Rosatom. So immediately it was linked, the fact that this deal was continued, that perhaps, Orban is benefiting from this in some way, well, which he would, or perhaps it has to do with Hungary refusing to sign, as you might remember, the deal with the European Union, vetoing like the sanctions and so on and so forth. So, and we discussed this actually during the last stream, that there's a little bit of a blackmail happening. So they might ask for something in return, so that, for instance, they wouldn't veto the talks of Ukraine possibly joining the European Union, and also the next round of sanctions. Which, if it sounds counterproductive, yeah, it is. But yeah, between two evils, I guess this is not the worst case scenario. So in this particular case, this Hungarian Minister of Foreign Affairs, of course, he didn't miss the occasion to roast Biden administration. Well, roast. It's not really roasting, it's just lying mainly, but... And he said that the previous U.S. administration, Joe Biden's administration, agreed on decision that made the long-term supply of energy to Hungary impossible. However, from January, there is a president in the White House that considers Hungary a friend. And thanks to that, the American government is canceling the sanctions related to the investment into this particular nuclear power plant, for which we are thankful to the President Donald Trump and the Republican administration. Thank you, said Szijjártó. So I think this information kind of got mixed up with that deal being continued on the, how did they call it? Civil nuclear projects, right? Civil nuclear energy. And perhaps it is in some. I honestly wouldn't be surprised at this point. So basically, they believe that if this nuclear power plant in Hungary is gonna grow and evolve, they will be able to produce I think up to 50% of the. Currently it's working. It's developing up to half of the entire Hungarian electricity, so perhaps they want to increase this amount, and apparently that's the plan. This mess, all of these power plants in Hungary, and thank you, and the deals and the blackmail and Trump and nuclear civil whatever. But yeah, to me it honestly looks like a part of the, trying to negotiate with Hungary on behalf of everyone, or so I'd like to think. Oh well. Let me see now. I don't think I missed anything. Everyone. Okay, we're good. Just checking just in case. Also, wait, can I see the YouTube comments from here? Oh, the YouTube chat is also going off, and I don't have the extra phone to look at it. Let me see what you guys have been saying. Hello, hello, hello. Sorry, I didn't mean to leave you guys. I'm so sorry. I usually steal my mom's phone to to read the YouTube chat, and today I didn't. Come on, Chechnya. Oh, Tim with Chechnya again. Aren't you tired of Kadyrov and Putin? And also an interesting note on dreams. Dreams are short segments of images. Words are usually limited to a sentence or two, in my experience. Well, interesting. Huh. Well, yeah, I guess it's different for everyone, right? With Chechnya, there is an interesting, just a little confirmation of what we discussed previously. Last time we were talking, we discussed how the news coverage on Kadyrov, this is the Chechnya warlord, and his sons has been increasing in the recent weeks. Ramzan Kadyrov, and that this could be used as the sort of indirect evidence regarding perhaps the potential change of, ruling whatever in Chechnya, that they might, be preparing the stage for an heir apparent to the to Kadyrov. And after we talked about this, I have started noticing even more news regarding Kadyrov and his son, and especially in Russian, and especially among the Russian sources and outlets. Like today, they were all discussing that son of his called Adam Kadyrov, and his Mercedes. That's him. What a beautiful, enlightened, inspired face. That's him. And that he got a Mercedes, and this is like all the rage in Russia because getting such expensive Mercedes is actually illegal. How could he break the law? What do you know? The overlords and the warlords do not actually follow. They do not follow the law. Who could have thought? Thank you. So, yeah, honestly, just based on how much information there's been released about him and how much coverage this particular otherwise type of person gets, could he actually be the next heir in line? Perhaps. Who knows? It's just, if this is what we're gonna get, well, they are gonna get, thankfully we're not gonna get anything like that, how bad are the other two sons then? Because this is his third son. And, well... yeah, that's the keeping up with the Kadyrovs, everybody. Adam and his Mercedes take Grozny. Good evening, Steve. How's it going? We're just discussing the Kadyrovs. The Kadyrov clan. All right. That's Hungary. Let me see what else I wanted to talk to you. Yeah, so today is actually an anniversary of the infamous The Sun article that says that revealed women will be having more sex with robots than men by 2025. Which, I don't know, have you guys experienced anything of the sorts? Was The Sun correct, or maybe, perhaps they overestimated the power of AI? Anyway, why do I have this bookmarked? This stuff we have already talked about. The Slovakians. Of course we're gonna get to Slovakia. How could we forget about these beautiful people? This is the face of the guy that we're gonna discuss in a second. Okay, ignore me. Wait, what is the YouTube chat? Oops, nope, this is not where the YouTube chat is. Keeping up with Kadyrovs, but hoping they can meet their grandfather soon. No, I don't think that's gonna happen. Life is never that kind, so. Where have you been in my feed? I've been missing for a while. I haven't been really posting that much. Recently I started posting. Some things get pushed, some things get suppressed. With live streams, it depends on the activity. So if the activity is higher, then it gets pushed. If it's not, then it gets... But yeah, if you would like to see more of my stuff, then you should just interact, or from any person, actually. Thank you, Maddie. From any person that you like following, you should just interact with their stuff, like liking, subscribing, sharing, commenting, and stuff like that. Thank you. This actually tells algorithm that, hey, this person is okay, I would like to see more of that, and they will show them to you more often. So, the head of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Slovakia, let me show you Slovakia on the map. I think we should start doing this, because I know some of you might not know where some of these places I talk about are. So, on this particular map, one of the reasons why I like this so much, with Orban and Fico, so Hungarian and Slovakian leaders being the way they are, this is how they are marked on the map. But anyways, so if you look on the map, this is Slovakia right here, and this is Hungary right here, suspiciously close to each other. Is this a conspiracy? So the head of the Slovak Ministry of Foreign Affairs decided to go on record in the year of our Lord 2025 and say that perhaps, thank you, Maddie. Thank you, appreciate it. That perhaps we should forgive Russia for everything that has happened. Thank you, Maddie. Which is, how insane is that, right? During the ongoing aggression, and with everything that has been coming to light, and with everything that's happening every single day, with all of the, court orders for Putin's arrests and stuff, and all the kidnapped kids, and who cares? Slovak Ministry of Foreign Affairs believes that we have to forgive, like it's his place to forgive. So anyway, he believes what's behind this, little piece of information that obviously got spread because of just how inflammatory this is. Hi, Don, thank you. What's behind this is, of course, yet another message of we should normalize communication with Russia. Like you and your Fico haven't normalized communication with Russia already. Mr. Juraj Blanar. Okay, let me see. Juraj Blanar. Wait, TikTok wants to once again log me off. Don't do that, TikTok. Juraj Blanar, the Minister of Foreign Affairs. All of the news are about, that's him. It just looks like a normal person, right? You wouldn't ever suspect that. Anyway, so he also added, a bunch of opinions. Yeah, we need to use diplomacy. We're trying, Mr. Juraj Blanar. Everyone has been trying to do something. It's impossible to talk to someone who has a gun to your head. So yeah, Mr. Juraj Blanar seems to perhaps not understand this, probably because the Russian army is currently too far away from him. Maybe if it gets closer, he will get different ideas. There is also, according to this article, an interesting past that Mr. Juraj Blanar has. And one day, apparently, he just randomly woke up rich, which is interesting. I don't really know how this happens. Miraculously became rich. And then found himself abstaining from voting to condemn Russia's actions in Bucha and taking a consistent position of zero aid to Ukraine. Interesting situation. What is that? No, we're not gonna do that. Let me see. So, of course, whenever rhetoric like this emerges, you immediately know that there is some sort of Russian trace somewhere behind the scenes, unfortunately. Call it conspiracy, call it whatever, but most of the times that's the case. Oh, thank you, Lynn. While the Russians were murdering in Bucha, he was with their ambassador, and he is enjoying luxury. Who is Juraj Blanar, says this article from Slovak media. So, unsurprising, disappointed, not surprised. Yeah, and this guy, today he's in all of the Ukrainian headlines. Everyone is talking about this Juraj Blanar person and calling him names and using a lot of very unpleasant words. Yeah. And And Fico recently also, that's Fico next to him, by the way, if you're currently on YouTube watching. Fico recently said that he's not planning on meeting with Zelensky because Zelensky, wait, what was the direct quote? Robert Fico, Zelensky. Because Zelensky hates him. Are you scared? Are you scared, Robert? Scared that Zelensky's gonna beat you up a little bit? So, yeah, that's the article. Slovakia's Fico says Zelensky hates him, sees no point in Ukraine visit. Yeah, like that's the thing that's stopping you, and not your alleged Kremlin handlers. All right. But yeah, he has offered an explanation for why he refuses to visit Ukraine. He blamed Ukrainian president, saying the president hates him. But yeah, they have been exchanging some pretty heated words in the past, and Zelensky, yeah, you know him and his Kryvyi Rih style diplomacy. He doesn't mince his words, so he but I think he invited him to Kiev though. Fico added that he prefers to meet with his Ukrainian counterpart, Prime Minister Denis Shmyhal. Okay. Are you not worried that Shmyhal might beat you up? Shmyhal is actually bigger than Zelensky, so I would be worried about that. Diplomacy, you guys. Diplomacy 101. Yeah, but these two. Oh, thank you, Lynn. These two, so Slovakia and Hungary. Currently, I think we've already been. This is probably the third stream in a row. During which we're discussing this, that they have been the greatest obstacle, and when it comes to the sanctions, when it comes to possible Ukraine-EU accession talks, and just overall a potential obstacle on the way of any sort of unanimous European vote regarding anything of actual importance. And there's a lot of matters of actual importance that the EU has to discuss at this day and age, with this actual military threat sitting on its border. So yeah, well, perhaps we have to forgive and forget. Lynn says, I lost you for so long, I finally had a notification on YouTube, yay! You guys, by the way, YouTube is much better at sending notifications than TikTok. It's still not perfect, but much better. I know in the past a lot of you told me that, whenever you register for my live event and you try to ask TikTok, but please, TikTok, send a notification, TikTok, of course, ignores you as a diva that it is. YouTube is better. So if you are following me on YouTube, which you should be following me on YouTube, and you click the infamous bell and on my channel, you will be getting the notifications. I've tested the system on my parents' YouTube accounts, and they've been getting notifications, so hopefully it will work with you too. So if you're interested in the upcoming streams, yeah, please make sure to do that. If you're on YouTube right now, click that bell, hit that bell, like and subscribe. You know the drill. Oh, and other wonderful updates from World Central Kitchen. Last time when we discussed the World Central Kitchen, we talked about how they have been restarting their operations in Zaporizhia, in Ukraine, after their facilities got hit by the drone. And yesterday they also said that they're also operating in Gaza. They're operating pretty much anywhere, there are people who need to be fed. And I really like this organization. As I explained to you in the past, I've actually seen them at work, and I know that they're actually making a difference, and they have a very good reputation in Ukraine. Most of the international organizations don't. And yeah, they've also announced that their mobile bakery started working in Gaza, which is wonderful, and they've already been delivering up to nearly 30,000 loaves of bread a day, which is, how incredible is that? Just something good. At least someone is feeding these people. So yeah, that's World Central Kitchen. Every single time we talk about them, I sing them praises. But yeah, they're just genuinely good. And I think they're operating pretty much wherever people need some feeding. They're there. But there's been a problem for a while. They couldn't come back, and now they finally could. And this is incredible. So this is also an interesting article that I wanted to discuss. We're going to get to that. The conversation about Russia weaponizing migration into Europe. because of course, last time we mentioned the what they're doing in Belarus and what they're doing in... Oh, thank you, Zoe. Thank you, Zoe. Yes. The socials, the Instagram is different from the rest of them. So yeah, if you're interested in seeing more of this incredible face, you can go follow me and hit those notification whatever thingies. Thank you. So last time we talked about this weaponized migration, we were mentioning the case of Belarus. And Belarus migrants border. Let's see if we can pull up some articles, this has been a major point of conversation regarding Belarus, and also, well, it has a name. It's called Belarus European Union Border Crisis, and it has a Wikipedia article, so that means it's serious business. And this is one of the examples of how they do this, how they use these people who, they feed them with these fake promises of getting them to Europe, and then they bring them to Belarus, which is already a bit of a letdown in itself, and then they tell them, okay, this is what you do. You basically conduct an offensive on the Polish or Lithuanian border. And yeah, this is one of the examples of this weaponized migration that unfortunately Russians have been using for quite a while. In this case, Russia and Belarus have been using for a while. And it caused, for instance, Poland and Lithuania, I believe both of them, they had to... basically, there were instances of some border guards getting, I think in Poland, border guards injured. Some people were injured in these clashes with these people, because in some instances they carry sticks and stuff. It was from last year. Polish soldiers were wounded on the border with Belarus. So this is an example. This is what the wall looks like. We're going to build the wall and we're going to make Belarus pay for it. So there were instances. This is at least one of them. I think there were more of them getting wounded. So just an overall awful situation, no matter from which angle you're looking at it. And this recent article is talking about the Russia's deployment of military equipment from Syria into Libya, and how ever since there has been a 173% rise in migrant arrivals to Greece, and how this could potentially be seen as basically Russia enabling people smuggling along Libya's coast. Now, of course, it's not just them. There's an entire network working in the Mediterranean. There are human traffickers, there is mafia, there's Italian mafia involved, because of course there is. And but the Russian trace, I think it's just getting harder and harder to deny. I cannot open it anymore. I thought I used to be able to open you. What are you doing to me, article? But yeah, that's pretty much the gist of it. We're just now seeing yet another spike, but it's been ongoing. It's been happening for a while. Oh, Lars is here. Hi, Lars. Zoe is the best. Come on. I think we can all agree on that. Hello, Moldova. Hi. Mexico will pay for walls. Not. Yeah, and everyone forgot about that. Remember how big of a thing it was during his first term? Everybody was like, the wall. And now it's like it never happened. I hate the news cycle. It's just, everything is so... Everyone has memory of goldfish. So, cheers, everybody. Yeah, this is so impractical, but it's so pretty. Nightshade says, I'm back. I'll be back. All right. Let me see what else. This entire Japan hoopla is so tiring. This is just based off of the recent Trump interview and how Japan takes in no American cars. Has someone tried to explain to him that the reason for why Japan isn't taking in American cars? I think it's pointless. Okay. But we were discussing, I think, a couple streams ago, how this entire back and forth with Japan regarding the tariffs and the deal that still hasn't been signed, how it causes some major rifts between Japan and the US, and all of the Japanese attempts of trying to, somehow mend this and perhaps get the deal, how they all break. Just hit the iceberg that is Trump. And on top of that, he also called the Japanese Prime Minister Mr. Japan, which... that was... yeah. So I'm just hoping and praying that there's going to be some resolution to the situation. No, nothing happens. Nothing happens. Doesn't listen to anyone, right? Oh, hi, PT. Hello. How's it going? Moldova and Ukraine, says I'm slaying, are set to join the EU really soon. That's what we were hoping for, but recently I think they have separated us like twins in a soap opera at birth. We are now in different groups, and from some of the things that I've been reading, there are signs that perhaps you guys will get in sooner, which is going to be good. I know there are some people who are bitter about this on our side, but honestly, I think it's a win-win for all of us. So, but we'll see. Everything is just so muddy and murky, and no one really knows for a fact what's going to happen with the EU accession, especially in our case with Orban blocking everything. And hello 10 times. How's it going? Just discussing the recent news and events and everything. We're also live on YouTube, everybody, if you would like to see the articles and stuff. So, yeah. The EU accession. I honestly, at this point, I'm not even sure if it's gonna happen, because for as long as I remember myself, it keeps going, this conversation. Will we, won't we? What's gonna, what is it gonna take? How many reforms, and then us failing to deliver on the reforms. Then with 2022, of course, the conversation has changed fundamentally, because we're now seen from an entirely different angle. We're no longer seen as much of a liability as we used to be seen by the entirety of the European Union. Now only part of the European Union sees us as a liability, which a win is a win. But back in the day, yeah, it used to be way more players who perceived it this way. Now, they're definitely seeing, I think, the military potential in having someone like us within the Union, especially now, knowing that the European Union is facing a threat from the outside. From who could it be now? I guess we'll never know. Which actually brings us to yet another article that I wanted to discuss. That it says, it's by AP, the section World News, and it says, women can be drafted into the Danish military as Russian aggression and military investment grow. This is just a next chapter out of a multiple chaptered book on the recent EU investments into defense, gradual developments of military-industrial complex, and of course, inevitably also increasing the number of personnel, investing into their army, and yeah, Denmark is apparently a most recent example. So it's stated here that until now, okay, so it's about these female soldiers, Katrine and other female soldiers, all of whom spoke to the AP on June 11th on the condition that only their first names be used because of operational security, volunteered for military service earlier this year. Until now, that was the only way women were allowed to partake in military service, although women have been able to enlist as full-time members of the armed forces since the early 1970s. So Denmark is seeking to increase the number of young people in the military by extending compulsory enlistment to women for the first time. Men and women can both still volunteer, and the remaining places will be filled by a gender-neutral draft lottery. In the situation the world is in now, it's needed, Katrine said, props to Katrine. Katrine is right. I think it's only fair and right that women participate equally with men. Under new rules passed by Denmark's parliament earlier in June, Danish women who turn 18 after Tuesday will be entered into the lottery system on an equal footing with their male compatriots. The change comes against a backdrop of, you already know, Russian aggression and growing military investment across NATO countries. So yeah, definitely everything has changed since 2022. They're pointing out, these female soldiers that were interviewed for the article, how everything has changed since the Russian full-scale invasion of Ukraine, how it makes it very real. Well, good that you guys understand what's happening. But yeah, so just something, just an interesting note. Obviously, this also comes in the light of all of the... I know it's seen as something of a controversial measure, right? It's seen as something of a controversial measure. There's already some discussions about, is it actually needed? Perhaps it can be avoided. I think this is the best time to prepare for, even just in case. Hopefully, these people will never need to fight, but if you want peace, you have to prepare for war. And better to be safe than sorry. So... especially one of the reasons why I liked this article is that they're actually talking about like some of the possible scenarios about how how their troops are already present in other NATO countries, like in the Baltics in particular. So yeah. Some will probably be very disappointed being chosen to go into the military, I can imagine. One of the volunteers said of the new female conscripts. Some will probably be surprised and like it a lot more than they think they would. You never know. And the duration of service is also being extended from 4 to 11 months. So, yeah. What do we think about that? If we have any opinions, let me know. I would be interested in seeing what you guys have to say, but I do know it causes controversies. Here we also have a huge controversy surrounding the possible... Well, we just in general here in Ukraine, we have controversy surrounding the draft, understandably, because there's so many issues and so many problems already that haven't been solved. So the question naturally arises, if we start conscripting women, which I think we will eventually, we will have to, we're running out of people. What is it going to look like? Will it actually function? And most importantly, will it do anything without the key factor here, which is the necessity of military... Oh, thank you for renewing the subscription. Thank you so much. Without the reforms that are needed first and foremost. So... this is, I think, regarding us and our, mobilization and draft and everything. But of course, it's very different in Denmark. They do not have half of the issues that we're having, and not just the most obvious one, the Russian issue and the active state of war, but also the outdated practices in the army and the post-Soviet era mentality and Soviet generals and the corruption and all. So. Yeah. Let me see what... In any way, in any case, this is just something that I feel like a lot of us are talking about these days. Let me see what YouTube is saying, if you guys are saying anything. There was a retracted message that I missed. Hi, Hannah. Vindictus says, bell checked. Thank you. Click that bell, you guys, if you're on YouTube. If you would like to receive notification, it will actually send you one. Or if it won't, we will sue them. Trump will keep up tariffs as long as Putin tells him to do so. Do you think they have like a secret communication line for just the two of them? As a US... Tim, do not apologize. Come on, we don't do that here. Ricky says, haven't seen you in forever. Oh, thank you, Ricky. Nice to see you too. Dane here, I think... Oh, we have a... Yay! I was hoping that we will have an opinion of someone from the ground. Dane here, I think it's good, but I also understand those who doesn't like it. Right, definitely. I think it totally makes sense. You can look at the situation from both sides. It's something of like just a paradigm shift for people when you have to go from what is pretty much a peaceful reality, right? So it says secret communication, maybe a signal chat. That would be not so secret communication. Especially if they invite, I don't know, someone by accident, maybe Pete Hegseth, who then will invite a New York Times journalist by accident, so that won't be as secret anymore. Anyway, I think of course it's understandable, going back to this possibility of like drafting more people, drafting women, and just the overall, what I call paradigm shift, as in going from the mentality in which you exist in a peaceful world, in a world where there is either low possibility of military action or zero possibility at all, and then all of a sudden having to realize and come to terms with the fact that perhaps it might change like this. Yeah, it's absolutely world shattering, but I think this is why it's so good that you guys are starting to adapt earlier on, because for many of our people this was such a huge, tremendous shock, specifically because there was not enough time for them to adapt and come to terms to this new reality. We all have to speak in code in America. We'll sue them how I'm getting more and more Americanized every single day. This is it. I don't know what's gonna happen next. We'll start baking apple pies and celebrating 4th of July. Who knows? Who knows? I guess we'll never know. But yeah, just, I don't know. This entire situation with, seeing people taking the situation much more seriously, it makes me glad, because it means chances are you won't be caught off guard if something does go south. So yeah, I think it's good. I'm gonna go look at the YouTube comments again. It disappears automatically, of course. Or Snapchat. Ooh, yeah, we should all do that. I mean, they would invite us by accident on Snapchat anyway, so they wouldn't ask us. With Russia's aggression, it is suddenly serious, and not just something we talk about as a small possibility, but also with the friends we have, we don't need more enemy. I know. What a reality. But I think it's a realistic approach. It's good. It's good. It's sober. It's healthy. I like it. I like it. I don't know. Oh my God. Was there another shooting in the US? Jesus. Idaho Blaze. Oh yes, I heard something about that. Oh Christ. Okay, let me see. Everything is good. July 4th, Friday 4th will be interesting. You have any plans? Or is something expected? Are we waiting for something good, or are we waiting for something bad? Biscuits and gravy. My best friend, who used to be in the States up until recently, whenever she would go to an American diner, she would always send me pictures of all of these like super American foods with explanations. Like, this is the biscuits and gravy that they keep eating in the movies. Something like this. Rallying and protesting. And rain. Okay, so for Alaska it's rain and and also rallying and protesting. That's good. Yeah, that's good. Show them hell. We like to see that. An interesting update on the usage of more FPV drones, which is something, again, we have briefly mentioned this in the past, but thank you so much. The Lightest of Rock. Oh, this is such a poetic name. So we have talked about how the warfare these days in many ways thanks to what's happening in our country, brought to you by the Russian aggression, is being redefined by the usage of the drones, in particular FPV drones, and how we're going to be seeing more and more of those emerging, popping up in different conflicts in different areas. And there was a case of Kurds using an FPV drone on fiber to attack Turkish position, which I think is That's a new one. This hasn't happened before. This is the Kurdistan's Working Party, and they began using FPV drones with fiber optic control against the Turkish army. Fiber optic control, let me show you if we have any images of what it looks like. Especially in the... It looks so spooky when there are like many of them, but yeah, it's this like glass fiber thingy, and it's used to operate the drones. I believe this makes them harder to intercept. And fiber optic. This cable, maybe I can find. Frontline Ukraine. It looks dystopian when you see the fields covered in it. It's absolutely horrifying. This is it. This is the fiberglass, the fiber optic cables in the trees. These are the fields covered. Why is it on Reddit of all places? But yeah, these are all images. I've seen them before. They're, I believe, posted by, many of them are posted by our military personnel. They are in the fields, they're in the land. Of course, the ecological damage is just horrifying. I don't even want to start thinking about it. There were also images posted of birds using those to build nests. That's the image. To those of you guys who are on YouTube watching, that's the bird's nest with fiberglass. And this is something that, it was posted by our soldiers, actually. And this was just devastating on a whole new level, which I didn't even think it existed. Now I do. So yeah, that's the one of the biggest downsides of this thing. I mean, except for the most obvious one, the fact that it's just a horrifying type of warfare. But I mean, to be honest with you, I'm kind of annoyed when people call out drones specifically on how like inhumane they're, and artillery isn't inhumane. And the aerial guided bombs are not inhumane, and the mines are not inhumane, and come on, especially some of the mines being used here, like the petal mines, that you can just easily miss and step on. Oh, God. Anyway, but yeah, we're seeing how drones, like in real time, we're witnessing the drone warfare spreading and being used in different areas of the world. So yeah, just a heads up on the new reality that we're all collectively entering. It sucks, we're gonna hate it, but we're gonna survive it, so hopefully. Fields covered in fiber optic, right, Nightshade, exactly. It's tragic. It's absolutely tragic. And I mean, we talked about the ecological consequences of this war. I mean, of any war. It's atrocious. It's something that was going to take hundreds of years to recover from, if we even have those hundreds of years. And the impact on I don't know how we still have any of the ozone layer, considering everything that's happening, and all the stuff that's exploding daily out over our country. So, yeah. Wait. I'm spending my nights chasing slugs, so am I. We're also chasing slugs here. The slugs have been a real devastating force for our strawberries, but we usually, what we do, we put out like different bowls into our garden and we fill them with beer. Not to the brim, just a little bit of beer. And then the slugs, they crawl into the beer and they get drunk and they don't make it out, and then they don't touch the strawberries. This is it. PETA is coming after me, and the vegan teacher is also coming after me because I'm drowning slugs in beer. Oh well. Anyway, you guys are talking, don't want to interrupt you. Have you seen the wheeled robot drones used to carry supplies but can have rocket launchers too? As in like the experimental one? I'm not entirely... I think I've seen something like on the streets of Kiev. Someone was boasting that they have this stuff, probably maybe the manufacturers, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I have seen something from the front lines. But also recently I started to realize that I myself, with as much news and sources that I use and all of this information on Ukraine that I consume daily, I honestly myself cannot really keep up anymore with all of the innovations and stuff. There's so many things happening at once. So many new drones, especially the drones. The drones are everywhere. Drones. So I might have missed something easily. I wouldn't be surprised. Carol says, I've heard about the beer trick. Yes, if you have a slug problem, I feel bad for your son. I got 99 problems, but a slug ain't one. Yes, just beer. Get them drunk, and they will just drown. So, yeah. Okay, let me see. I hope nothing bad has happened while we were talking, because sometimes we would be talking on the live stream, and then after the stream I would check the news, and something bad would have happened. Okay, we have a new statement from Zelensky, which, yes, sounds right about time. This is the time of the day when he releases his statements. So... okay, this is about the Sumy advancement. We're going back to discuss Sumy. There was actually a couple of things that I forgot to mention. This reminded me. Also, look at Zelensky, looking all serious in his glasses, discussing the battlefield situation like he understands what's going on there. Anyway, so he said that basically, yeah, the gist of it is that everything is good, that the Russian plans in Sumy direction advancement operation are failing. At the same time, there were also reports of Russians throwing 50,000 more troops into that direction, so I'm not entirely sure how these two statements coexist. We've also received $1.7 billion from the frozen Russian assets, which is something that is highly encouraged for all of the countries to do, so that the countries who support Ukraine would stop spending their own money and use the billions in Russian assets that some of you have sitting in your banks, so we'll love to see that. This is good. This is good news. The drones, they're using them on the front. United 24 posted a great video. Okay, this is why I probably haven't seen it, because I don't really follow United 24. Good to see you too, Ken says. How's it going? Hey, Maddie, don't worry about the friend. I'm sure the friend understands the situation much better than we do. The friend should be fine. Honestly, I think they are keeping an eye out on the situation, and they will be fine. So. But the situation there, I mean, for now it's controlled. And it's probably going to remain this way. And although we do have plenty of cases where people either wait for too long, some people don't want to leave, and then they end up in the situations like we're seeing coming out of Pokrovsk, for instance, with all of these grandmas stubbornly sitting in front of their destroyed houses and not wanting to leave anywhere. Also, it's important to notice, sometimes among those people, there are the cases of the people who are waiting for the Russians. So it's not all of them, but sometimes they exist. And obviously, I'm sure your friend is not gonna wait until it's too late. And there are always evacuations. For now, there is even no need for evacuation, really. There is still transport going in and out of Sumy. But even from the most dangerous areas, there are volunteers risking their lives daily, evacuating the civilians, trying to convince the people who don't want to leave to at least let their children leave. And it's a whole thing. So Anyway, what I'm saying that even when it comes to the absolute worst of the situation, there are always ways, some ways to get out, and I'm sure it will not. Well, I'm hoping it will not get to that in Sume. Let's hope for the best, please. Let's hope for the best. All right. We also have a new trade agreement between the European Union and Ukraine signed. That was something that was discussed before, so that's good. A new trade zone between Ukraine and the European Union, because the previous agreement that we had expired. We had the so-called trade-free zone, visa-free trade zone, that agreement was until June 5th, and then it expired, and it was actually celebrated by some countries that it expired, because unfortunately there were some instances of this agreement, let's just how to sound more diplomatic, exploited, and not really being used to the best of, not in the way it was intended, like with the infamous grain situation, and the damage that it caused to the farmers of the neighboring countries. But anyway, so yeah, they looked into a different agreement, and apparently they have signed it, which is good. I really hope that this one will satisfy all of the players involved. Poland was really angry about the previous one, so hopefully they will not be as angry about this one. If they will, then we will learn about it, because they will start blocking the border again, which they did in the past. So let's hope it's not gonna happen. Hi Gary, thank you for stopping by. You remember my stories about Japan? I'm gonna go back to telling more of those. Honestly, at this point, I feel like I can do it. I think it's enough. It's enough of just talking about the war and destruction. I will probably film more of those. But thank you for remembering. I really, really appreciate it. Those were the good old days, you guys, back when we were doing Japan story times and stuff. What is the YouTube chat saying? Sorry, I forgot about you guys. Oh, thank you, Andrea. This is very sweet. Biscuits and gravy is overrated. Now that's the matter that requires our full attention. Biscuits and gravy or biscuits and jam. Biscuits and jam, to my Eastern European, Ukrainian soul, makes much more sense. I'm going to be very honest with you. Biscuits and gravy sounds like something that shouldn't exist, but I respect that it does. I respect your culture. But yeah, to us, we hear biscuits, we think like dessert. No one really thinks gravy. Okay, I wanted to tell you about something else. Maybe I will remember. You know, I sometimes forget about things, and then I remember, and then I forget again, as it happens. Okay, I'm gonna keep this page open for now. Thank you. All right. Another news. Okay, this is another thing that keeps happening. I'm just going to translate it automatically. Like this particular title, this particular headline says that we have developed new ammunition for the destruction of drones. And you might think, you know, from the first glance, it's such an innocent headline, but this is something I've recently been getting more and more annoyed at. Why am I getting annoyed at? Well, because I tend to get annoyed at things, but also there's been this issue recently with no one being able to keep quiet for too long about the innovations that are occurring in this country, because of course they are occurring. So much money, so much effort, so much time, so many investments are being poured into the manufacturing of the new ammunitions, of the new drones, of the new types of weapons, the new types of everything. And obviously in many cases it's very fruitful. You get all of these new developments, you get all of these tools, the weapons that can reach much deeper into the enemy territory, or that are much higher in precision, or that can target different, so all of this is happening. But at the same time, this stuff needs silence. It needs to happen under the wraps. It needs to be quiet. Why are we doing this? And this instance is very innocent. Those of you who are seeing the article, you can see that it's... Oh, wait, no. Did they show the... I was about to compliment them and say, oh, they are only saying... Just a couple of details. They're not actually showing the thing. And then I scrolled and then I saw that I think there is a video. This is the problem, is that they also like to show it all in great detail. They like to show the drones. They like to show the drones from one side and then another side, all of the angles of the drone. And yep, they're showing the ammunition up close. Okay. Well, I mean, it's ammunition, and they're also explaining what it does. And how it is so good for destroying the FPV drones. Okay, just something that keeps me frustrated. And there's so much of this. It's happening, and it's happening, and it's happening. And while we were talking, there were already 3 minutes ago, there was an air raid announced in Kharkiv, and Dnipro, and Odessa. Okay, so we're currently during a combined missile strike. Oh, I've missed that. Okay. So, yeah, we're now... 2 minutes ago, an upcoming strike was announced of Iskanderi and S-300 from Crimea. Okay. That sounds... Yeah, especially for Odessa, this is going to be a major problem. Hopefully they will be fine, so fingers crossed that the air defense will work. Why would you advertise your capabilities to your enemies? That's a wonderful question, Lubilu. That's exactly what I've been wondering about and not only me, a lot of people. I think it's a big mistake. I think it's just a simple case of vanity overcoming common sense, and this is not a good thing, and it has proven to be detrimental in the past. There have been instances of it backfiring. And the enemy, of course, figuring out how to counter-attack, how to counteract, and how to overcome, the threat that these weapons present. But maybe because for some of these enterprises it's a business. Maybe because for some of them, they rely on grants, or maybe they believe that they will lose the financing if it's not big and fleshy enough. It's really hard to say. But sometimes it's simply vanity, and it's just devastating. Zelensky just... Okay, that's the video message. Those of you who are currently on YouTube, that's the stuff that we have to see every single day. That's him in his office, recording on his iPhone.
Українці, кілька речей за цей день. Перше, перед новими перемовинами в Європі готуємось. Дуже ретельно.
So this is his daily blog type thing, and yeah, he basically just announces what he is doing, what he's planning on doing. Trump has Truth Social. Zelensky has his daily little video blog, a vlog. Yeah, this is a vlog. What are we talking about? He's getting ready to talks with the European Union. I think this is what he means by Europe. The country of Europe. Council with the military. More drones. Good. Priority drones. All right, good. And he is grateful to all of the Ukrainian drones manufacturers, which is what we just talked about. Maybe it's one of the reasons why all of these manufacturers are competing with each other. Maybe they would like to get a little shout out in his vlog. Who knows? One thing that also happened today, we had a visit, an unannounced visit, which is good. These things shouldn't be announced. It's not safe. From the German Ministry of Foreign Affairs. And this is him with Zelensky, shaking hands awkwardly and posing. This is his first visit, and I've already read about the results of the visit. He basically just reaffirmed the German commitments to Ukraine. They discussed the sanctions on Russia, the possibility of more air defense systems delivered, and the recent hot hit of the day, the mutual weapons manufacturing in Ukraine and Germany. which is something that a lot of countries actually, I think, are involved in. It's this project called Build with Ukraine, and it's mostly has to do with the possibility of the weapon manufacturing, Ukrainian weapons manufactured in foreign countries, which is, I think many of you will not remember this, but some time ago, probably maybe a year ago, we were discussing, back when I was streaming, so probably like a year, maybe even more. Anyway, we were discussing how there are all of these companies, all of these like defense companies, military industrial companies that are considering entering Ukraine and starting manufacturing here. And it was depicted in the media as something, you know, so great and amazing. And it kind of sounds amazing for a moment, and then you remember that we are under daily strikes from the Russians and under these daily attacks. And I think back in 2023, when the main threat were the missiles, although as devastating as they were, there were not as many of them, and they couldn't cause as much damage as the drones are causing right now. And the drones also, there's so many of them, the Russian drones, and they have improved, that of course the possibility of, you know, leaving any sort of manufacturing here in Ukraine, it just becomes so much more challenging. So it totally makes sense that these projects should be located somewhere abroad. I'm just interested. I'm surprised that it took such a long time for them to realize it. Wait, yesterday he posted 2 vlogs, meaning Zelensky. Okay, one of them was about the fallen pilot that we have discussed at the beginning. Maxim Ustimenko was his name. And the other one was... Oh no, that's an English translation. I thought it was like an extra edition of Zelensky, which I was surprised. Why? All right, just thank you, Magnus. Hi. In the USA, the rhetoric is that your president should be replaced. How do the people actually feel? First of all, no one is replacing him except for us. No one is replacing him. He might be problematic, he might be trouble, he might be whatever, but he's our trouble, so... we are the ones who will be replacing him. No one else has the power to replace him, and no one else really has a power to influence our opinion. And it became clear to me when I read about the meetings that some of the players in the US who would like to get rid of Zelensky were conducting in the shadows. It was Don Jr., Trump's second favorite son, and and Tucker Carlson and other geniuses. They were meeting with people like Petro Poroshenko, our former president, and Yulia Tymoshenko, our former prime minister, theft personified. So when you see these people thinking, we're going to meet with these people because these are the players that the Ukrainians could potentially vote for, I just laugh out loud because no, this is just how they show how completely inequipped they are to try and influence the situation within Ukraine at all. So it's up to us. This is first and foremost. Second of all, during the martial law, we cannot have the elections. It's in the Constitution. We might end up getting pressured into having the elections. So not into selecting like whoever Don Jr. wants us to select as president, but into having elections. I think this is something that the partners could potentially pressure us into. This will be highly controversial. It will be really problematic. How exactly do you conduct something like this under daily drone and missile strikes? Where currently, if you're on YouTube, we're looking at the consequences in the video that Zelensky posted of one of the recent strikes. This happens daily. The targets are everywhere. It's the houses, residential facilities, government buildings, schools, everything you can think of. How do you do an election? If you do it fully electronically, how do you avoid possible cheating? And how do you avoid, even more importantly, a bunch of people screeching, crying, throwing up about how it was falsified? Right, that's another question. How do you deal with the regions that are currently under the Russian occupation? How do you do elections there? These people cannot vote. In fact, it's very dangerous for them to maintain any sort of Ukrainian identity. If they choose to maintain like their Ukrainian document, I think a lot of them still do, but this is not something they can just do, go out in public and be like, okay, hey, let's vote. Thank you, Danya. Let's vote in the Ukrainian presidential election. This is how you get arrested. So many questions that no one really can give us any answer to. It's extremely frustrating that the democratic process has been postponed, but this is what the war does. Unfortunately. this is not the worst thing that has happened to us during this war. There are people, like dozens of people, dying in the most horrific ways daily. And yeah, unfortunately, this is one of the... another thing that has also happened was the fact that we cannot have an election, but it's just a completely different reality here. I'm sorry, I don't mean to sound aggressive. I'm just emotional, and also I'm Ukrainian, so you know we have the mug and the super serious, loud, very very scary, spooky voices. So anyway, okay, one more sip of tea. And if you guys have any questions, please feel free to answer them. I promise I'll be nicer, either on here or on YouTube. You know, if you've been with us before, you know how it works. I answer questions to the best of my ability, and yeah. This is really uncomfortable, but it's so nice. All right. Let me see what YouTube is saying. Oh, we had someone with the Russian flag! Deleted by Zoe! Oh. Okay. This is the first one in a long time. Bye-bye. До свидания, чел. Иди нахер. Our politicians is missing in action. They're too busy with filling their pockets. I think that's most politicians. Hi, Santa. Thank you, Santa. Christmas came early. If Don Jr. thinks you should hold election, I vote for Don Jr. to be the one to go out to the front lines and collect votes. We should give him a little box for the ballots. And yeah, that's definitely something that is not happening. None of these people are getting anywhere near Ukraine, because with all of their screaming and moaning about how there is no war in Ukraine, they know too well. Thank you. They know too well, and they're not approaching suspiciously. They're not, you know, in our streets filming whatever, the little propaganda videos. Huh. I wonder why. Anyway. Okay, I'm gonna light up one of these, you guys. So... it smells really nice, and it has a rabbit. And also I'm gonna put... I forgot to show you. We were talking about the lotus flowers, and I haven't shown you this beautiful incense holder that I have with the hasu, with the lotus flower on it. It is, I think, a bit too early for the lotus season, but it's okay. We can live with that. And also, I think you're gonna like this one. Look at my matches. This is like classic Ukrainian matchbox design with a little Kazakh and gigantic match to the YouTube crowd. I hope you guys can see it. This is the... should I do it like the annoying beauty gurus? But yeah. Сірники безпечні. Українська сірникова фабрика. In Rivnenska область. It's the region next to mine. So that's a relief. That means we're not gonna lose it to the Russian advancement anytime soon, because we have lost a lot of our manufacturing and a lot of our rare earths to the Russian troops advancing, in particular in Donbass. Ooh, hi Mats, thank you. Yeah, this is the closest to the fireworks as it gets in this household. This is, wait, are you standing? Because also fireworks have been prohibited here since the full-scale invasion began. Because too many people with PTSD, and everyone mortified because everyone immediately thinks it's a missile strike. So, yeah, a bit sad, I know. So yeah, I'm just gonna light up the incense instead. Jeff, yeah, we've already been through the most of the Ukraine updates, but my streams are now on YouTube, so if you would like to rewatch it, you can always go to YouTube channel and check it out. So we've talked about, well, we're still gonna, I think there's still some dates that I forgot to mention. I'm still gonna be live for, I think, probably like half an hour. If you have any questions, any concrete questions, let me know. Let me see what the chat is saying. Everybody likes my pink stuff. Yay! Second favorite son for Frontline. Nah, that's never gonna happen. That's never, ever going to happen. Neither Don, oh, thanks Zoe, nor Eric, unfortunately. They're only capable of killing animals, as most cowards are. Thank you, Plant Love, for understanding. I know sometimes I can come off as a bit harsh especially when I'm ranting, but yeah, it's just, let's just say it's a cultural thing, and also sometimes a little bit of a me thing too. Jabari says, I agree with you, Vicky. Yep, I think everyone agrees with Vicky on this one. We should send Don Jr. to collect the votes. He's not gonna go, though. He's not gonna go. But we can always try. Thank you, Kristen. The corgi. Jeff says, question, I heard there was another Russian troop buildup on the border. Is that true? Yes. 50,000 more in Sumska Oblast. If you're on YouTube, I'm going to show you. This is approximate area. And you can actually see some of the buildup showing here, which is one of the reasons why I love this map so much. Like, there's 56th Air Assault Regiment, there is 137th Guards Airborne Regiment, there is the 54th, so all of these regiments. This is one of the most likely directions of their advancement. The question of Belarus remains, as always, up in the air. Like, we do not know for sure whether the advancement from their territory is possible. Of course, everyone is hoping for the best, preparing for the worst, but this was the most recent one that everyone talked about. They also recently ordered more North Korean troops. I mean, the Russians ordered North Korean troops to join them in Kursk. Thank you. Yeah. But I think Sumy currently is the one. Whenever people say about the troop buildup, they usually mean Sumy. But the rumors were flying about the northern direction. What do they usually mean when they say northern direction? Again, brings us back to Belarus. So most of the times people mean this area. So this is Chernihiv region, this is Zhytomyr region, and of course, squashed in between them is Kiev. So there were no actual solid confirmations of the possible advancement from that side, at least not in the nearest future. But obviously, you can never fully relax with these people. The recent Belarusian trainings were here in the vicinity of their city of Brest, and this is the one that we have discussed in terms of the one that has, during which Keith Kellogg, the Trump envoy, visited Lukashenko and hugged him and held him close to his heart. So everyone was speculating whether or not this has anything to do with these military trainings, and Lukashenko possibly either letting Putin through or joining the war, but who knows? At this point, it's been such a long time, right? It's been already 3 years. Lukashenko hasn't really joined in. I mean, they are part of the aggression, but the Belarusian troops haven't entered the fighting. So at this point, does it make sense for him? That's a big question mark. Most of their oil depots, so his wallet, his oil refinement, I believe, biggest plant is in Mozyr, right? So it's, anyway, I'm not entirely sure where, so sorry, don't quote me on that. I will have to thank you for subscribing, and thank you, Maddie. So don't quote me on that. I'll have to look this up, the exact locations, but what I do know for a fact is that they're very close to the Ukrainian border. So if he does try anything, his wallet goes boom, pretty much. So is there a point for him to intervene now? Does Putin have enough of an influence on him to force him into something like this? Hard to say at this point. I do know that one of the official explanations for Keith Kellogg's visit to Lukashenko was the fact that Trump's admin wants to allegedly sway him away from Putin. How do you exactly conduct that? How do you do something like this, knowing how deeply the two are merged together by this point? It's all up in the air. We're gonna see. This summer promises to be very, very heated and very dangerous, and there could be some circumstances that we're not yet aware of, because let's face it, I'm just a civilian. Unfortunately, I do not have any access to classified intel. I wish I did. But maybe it's for the best that I don't, because I would have shared it with you on stream immediately. So, okay. But yeah, pretty much, if you're looking at the map with me right now, if you're on YouTube, like this area, but then again, I'm pretty sure this is where the oil thingy is. This was one of the possible, in fact, this is where they entered through during their 2022 early stages of invasion, and also, of course, like this entire area. But also, it's not like we're completely unprepared. I know that the border has been enforced, so hopefully we're more ready than we were in 2022. The perfect time for them to strike was in 2022. If you remember that, there was this meme with Lukashenko. Лукашенко, откуда на Беларусь готовилось нападение. Let me show you. It became a meme. It even has a Wikipedia page. And I will now show you where the attack was being prepared for from where on Belarus. This was a performance by Lukashenko. This is him with a map of Belarus showing all of the, on March 1st of 2022, showing all of these alleged strikes that Ukraine was preparing to carry out in Belarus. Because remember, one of the main propaganda lines of Belarus and Russia regarding the beginning of the full-scale invasion of Ukraine is that actually Ukraine was preparing to attack. But Russia says Ukraine was preparing to attack Donbass. Lukashenko said Ukraine was preparing to attack Belarus. Because Ukraine is a superpower, right? One of the biggest, greatest propaganda contradictions. We are super weak and pathetic, but we're also super powerful, and we're about to invade everyone around us. We're broke as hell, but we're also super rich. All of this. So anyway, this is him pointing at the map, and this was basically his little speech performance explaining for why he led Putin through, why he let Belarus get dragged into this war. But an interesting part of this is that this was the moment for them to strike into the Western Ukraine. Thank God that they didn't. But yeah, that was the moment, because you guys might remember back in the day when it all was getting started and we were doing these fundraisers for our regional troops here in Volyn, they didn't even have lanterns. So this is what they asked me. Like I saw this advertisement in our local newspaper, and then I contacted the guy, and it was like, yeah, we are the border guards. We need lanterns. Like, really? So we ended up getting them again. Some of you might remember we got them the night vision thingy from Poland. We got them lanterns. The global superpower, Ukraine, yay! But yeah, anyway. And the Lukashenko thing became a meme, but unfortunately not colorful enough, because recently, yeah, the golden age of the Russian-speaking memes are unfortunately behind us, I'm afraid. So yeah, anyway. Greetings to you too, Carolina. Thank you for the support. Lithuania has been an incredible friend to us in all of this. Thank you. Yeah, no, I went all the way back to 2022 rumors with my ranting. If Russia takes Ukraine, asks Steve, do you know what you're going to do? Leave or stay in the country? This would be a death sentence for me, pretty much, if I chose to stay. Knowing how publicly I made my sentiments known, and and all of the fundraisers I participated in for the army, and all of the things that I have said. So yeah, I think it wouldn't make a lot of sense for me to stay. So there's a lot of smoke from this incense stick. I really hope it doesn't get to this, honestly. Currently, we're looking at the scenario where it's still unlikely for them to take over the entire country. I'm currently thinking, this is just my opinion, that we're looking at perhaps the left bank, right bank division, if our front does end up collapsing. Because if our front collapses in the east, which I really hope and pray it doesn't happen, but if it does, then the most logical thing would be for them to roll back to Dnipro River, right? So it's the one in the middle of the country, because this is a natural defense. It's a natural defense line. It would be absolutely devastating. I hope it doesn't happen. This would be the infamous, North-South Korean division scenario, or if you want, West-East Germany scenario that some of the experts and analysts have been floating around. But again, hoping it's not gonna get to that. But all of this that you're seeing, if you're currently on YouTube and looking at the map, you're seeing this. All of these red, how do you call them? Squares, right? Red squares on the map. Do you see how many of them? These are all Russian troops, and they're all pushing through. So, and our side is crumbling. So the moment we run out of us, this advancement will start to speed up, I'm afraid. And on top of that, they have the mercenaries, and on top of that, they have the North Koreans. And China still really hasn't entered the game, which I think it will. It has, but in this more sneaky way. North Korea wouldn't have done anything without Chinese approval. Anyway. That's just me with my rumblings. You know me. It's an incense stick, I don't smoke. I decided to light up one of these bad boys. And this was a crucial mistake, because now my entire room smells like... I don't even know what the sakura, I hope. Yep, it's sakura. This smell, I know. Sakura, usagi. This is usagi, and this is sakura. Usagi is a rabbit. Oh well. Will you take me to the Bahamas? Of course, Philip. We're leaving tomorrow. I'm gonna fly to pick you up on my biolab modified goose. Thank you, Adam. And yeah, we're just gonna leave. We're just gonna leave it all behind. Do you feel as if the Baltics are safe for now? I hope they are. I really hope they are. There is this opinion that while the Russians are engaged in Ukraine, they will not have enough force to take over the Baltics or to attempt anything in the Baltics, but I think this is where the fundamental difference lies. Taking over and attempting something are two very different things. And remember how we talked about this dangerous rhetoric coming out of some of the NATO people, for instance, Donald Trump. How we don't know whether or not Article 5 has to be activated in certain instances. Like if there's a minor incursion, maybe we don't have to. Because it sounds like an invitation. I don't know. It sounds like a direct invitation, and this is awful. And I hate this rhetoric so much, because there's no such thing as minor incursion, and there's no such thing as just a small loopsie-doopsie Russian provocation. It's going to be devastating, and it's going to have consequences in human lives. And so, yeah, I guess that's the difference. I hope everything will be fine. I like the Baltics, I'm the #1 fan. And in general, another scenario that a lot of people don't talk about is the possibility of Russians invading into some other former Soviet country, like maybe Kazakhstan, or maybe another invasion of Georgia or something like this. This is also something that could potentially happen, but hopefully it won't. I wish all the best to all of these people. I wish no harm to any of them, and I don't support this idea of, actually, perhaps it would be good, because if they were to get dragged into another war or something, well, if they were to drag themselves into another war, then, our forces would be spared, it would be easier for us. No. There is nothing, no one ever wins when the war spreads, unfortunately. They do tend to spread pretty inevitably. It's statistically proven that war is not something that you really can contain. Especially not with efforts that we're currently seeing, but Yeah, we're all leaving for the Bahamas, you guys. Yeah, it's decided. All of you. All of you. I have geese for all of you. We're just gonna ride them into the sunset. Yeah, Josh, you're going too. Everyone's going. Everyone is going. The Canada geese can join us. And the chickens and the dogs and everyone. Yep, respect to the Baltics, you guys. What do you think will happen if Putin died? There is like a 50% chance that he already died and we just don't know it yet. We're seeing his clones. Nothing would happen. Nothing would happen. The reason for the war, I don't think it was... Thank you. I don't think it was his own ambition. I think it was a multitude of reasons, and I think his inner circle and pretty much all of the upper echelons in the Kremlin are very much supportive of the war. By this point in time, they had time to adapt. They have adapted to the parallel import. It's like an entirely new way for them to make money, to control these parallel imports into Russia. So, yeah, I think it's just going to continue, but... Hey Suzanne, thank you. Good to see you. Unfortunately, I wish it changed something. It would be so nice. It would be like a Marvel movie, you know? The bad guy drops dead and we're all cheering and we're all singing a song. There's a goose. Thank you, Zoe. I didn't know it had a goose. And we'll all do a dance. All of us and the geese and the dogs. And we sing a song like in the end credits to Shrek. But... No, unfortunately, no. We can't have nice things. I was led to believe it was all Putin. I think it's a very popular... Hi, Nick, thank you. It's a very popular narrative. I think it's a very popular narrative, and I think it's being spread and supported deliberately. I mean, it's a narrative that's quite easy to believe. I think that many people would like to believe it, right? You think, okay, it's just this one guy. Just this one baddie. Baddie as in like a villain baddie, not an Instagram baddie, because he's not. And we get rid of him, and then we can all live happily ever after. I don't really see... First of all, I just fundamentally disagree with the notion that this is how Russian establishment works. I do not think that it's just him, you know, as this monarch, absolute monarch, and then the rest of the cronies are just kind of sort of like worshipping him in the corner. He's a very important figure, 100%. But all of the other powerful players are the key to why he is where he is. So we've discussed this, I believe, in the past, that this is what I firmly believe, just, you know, from the years of observing Putin. Thank you, Heather. All right, you guys, let me know if there is anything you would like to know, anything you would like to discuss, because I think all of the main things that I wanted to talk about, I have talked about, but I could have forgotten something. Trump defends Netanyahu. Of course he did. Are we surprised? But yeah, let me know. I have the map open for now. If there is anything you would like to see on the map, if you are currently on YouTube watching, you'll let me know. My girlfriend is from Moscow, says Broken Neck Radio, and I got to try Olivier's salad. Was it good? Did it change your life? Do you guys know what salad Olivier is? Yep, we are currently looking at it. This is a classic New Year dish that is plaguing our culture for, I don't know, ever since I can remember myself. This is a staple for every Russian New Year, and I think many Ukrainian New Years as well. It's just something that we do. It's a mayonnaise salad with potatoes and sausage and carrots and eggs and... It sounds so bad. It's one of those things, it sounds bad, it looks bad, but it's actually pretty good, unfortunately. I hate to admit it. Sometimes you just need a little bit of Olivier in your life. This is a fancy Olivier. Look at it. It's a Michelin star Olivier. I'm an American. I don't understand why Trump is so obsessed with him. Wait, with Putin or Netanyahu or both of them? Of course he likes Bibi. Come on. I mean, I don't know the exact why, but for some reason it makes a lot of sense. At least in my head. He was writing all of these truths on Truth Social, defending Netanyahu from Israeli courts. And apparently courts listened to him and dismissed some of the... Oh, they cancelled the trial. The trial hearings. They cancelled the trial hearings. I'm not entirely sure if it's because Trump threatened to withhold aid to Israel. That was just so just enraging and also kind of slightly pathetic. But yeah, back to Olivier we go. Back to Olivier we go. The New Year's toast to Putin's death. Once Putin dies, don't you think a lot of the soldiers will decide it's not worth it? They won't even know. Most of them are there for the money. They're there because they're getting paid well. I was listening to this interview with some of the... It's like a native population of Russian Sakhalin. I'm going to show you... So it's in the deep Russian Far East. In fact, it's much closer to Japan than it is to Russia, and hence a lot of the territorial disputes. But mainly the territorial disputes that they have with Japan, they're not involving Sakhalin, they're involving the northern territories, or the Kuril, as the Russians are calling them. But anyway, that's Sakhalin. This is Japan, right here underneath it, so that you would know what we're talking about. And so I was listening to this material about how these natives, they're talking about how awful it was under the Soviet Union, the repressions against them, how they were prohibited from speaking their native language. It's colonialism 101. They were prohibited from using their native language. They were prohibited from using their names in their language. They were given numbers instead of their names, and all of these horrors, right? And you feel so sympathetic to these people. And then by the end of this interview, one of the guys starts talking about how so many of them already volunteered to go fight in Ukraine, and that he's also thinking about going and volunteering because it's good money, but not only because it's money, because it's also a matter of principle, because he's seeing all these Russians that are being killed, and he's hearing all these stories, and he wants to go and fight too, to avenge them, right? So these people in the middle of absolute nowhere, the people who had they're so far away from Ukraine, it's insane. They have the entirety of Russia between Ukraine and them. Let me show you, just so that for reference, so that you would understand. Wait, maybe we can actually see it on Deep State. Okay, so we're starting in the European part of Russia, right? And then we go, and we go, and we go, and we keep going. We're still going, we still have... And this is when we reach Sakhalin, right? So it's the entire, like a whole universe between these people and us. And they still want to come kill us. Because it pays well, and because of some bizarre ideas that were put in here. So they're here, right? This is them. Oh, here, sorry. And we're here. Almost the entirety of Eurasia. Okay, all of Asia between us. So no, I don't think it's a Putin thing, unfortunately. It would be so nice to believe it, but I don't. Not anymore. Not after hearing all of this and seeing all of this. I like how if you guys are on YouTube, are you seeing this? It's marked as like occupied, as in the Japanese territory is occupied by Russia. Oh, I know they would be pissed at that. They absolutely hate this notion. They hate it. Hate it. Why is everyone so scared of Trump? I think it's because he's the leader of the most powerful country on earth, and also because he at least he's giving an impression of being slightly deranged, so maybe this is why. And also he has access to the nukes, so one of those things. Borscht is incredible. Lucky you. Lucky you that they're feeding you borscht. Long time no see. It's Nunya. Oh, that's so cute. I've been well, thank you. Everyone's good, everyone's safe. It's chill. Occasional drones passing by, we ignore them. So, yeah, we're in a very, very privileged situation compared to the rest of the country, so don't worry about us. Danielle says, I know I'm crazy, but I think Putin is not alive, and it's a clone. This is what a lot of us are thinking, Danielle. This is I think this is the most popular conspiracy in our chat, so... and again, it's been a conspiracy since 2007. At least. This is when I remember finding the website and we're like, oh my god, Боже мой. Ukraine is securing Chernobyl, right? From what? You mean from another Russian invasion? Or from possibility of shellings? I mean, there's air defense in Kiev region, so I think it's covering it as much as everything else. Or do you mean if there is any fighting for Chernobyl? No, right now it's all good. This is Chernobyl, you guys, the infamous, the one and only. And as you can see, it's in green. The reason it's in green on this map is because it was liberated after the Russians were kicked out of Kiev region. So... I have no sympathy for Russian soldiers. I think by this point in time, no one does. Well, maybe some weird Twitter people do, but the majority of people, I don't think they do. I do not believe it. So, do you work with intelligence? No. Please hire me, CIA, if you're watching. Please. I would love to. My camera just blinked with red. They are watching. No, I'm not kidding. Wait, did something glitch? Or are you actually listening? Please reach out if you do. The camera on my laptop just there was this like red light all of a sudden. Are you listening? Aw. What's your name? Are you cute? Thank you, Darwell. Anyway, yeah, I've been accused, but no, I've never had any of these people reaching out. I've had the government outlets reaching out. I've had some big media reaching out, trying to get my likeness to push stuff they want to push on you guys, but no, I said no to everyone. So... But George Soros, if you're here, if you're listening, I know you are. Please. My aunt is already convinced that I work for you, so we might as well make it official. Okay. What time is it? We're gonna do a couple more questions, 10 more minutes, and then I will be on my way. As you can see, today's life was a little bit unhinged, a little bit slightly insane, but I like to think that in the good way. Wait, did I miss some YouTube comments from Tim? Alexander, please don't get me into war, Mr. Putin Lukashenko. Yeah, well, too late. He is already kind of sorta in it. Mayonnaise is the bloody antichrist. That sounds like that recent Peter Thiel interview. Speaking of antichrist, let me also make the light a bit more aggressive. In the UK, we are told 1 million Russian soldiers have been killed. That's, I think, the official count that our side is giving. Okay, so I like this website, the Ukrainska Pravda, the pravda.com.ua, because they have these numbers. So yeah, this is the official information from our commandment. So it's inflated, obviously. Of course it's inflated. But it is definitely much bigger than what the Russians are saying. So that's for sure. But of course, both sides are not telling the exact figures. It is in our interest to inflate them. It is in the Russian interest to do the other, to present it the other way around and to make it seem as though, everything is fine. Everything is chill. And there is no actual way of double check it because... So... It's really hard to gather the information, understandably so, right? Inside of Russia, They're censoring a lot of it. And also, a lot of the information that's being gathered, it's from the social media. So when people post about, oh, this such so-and-so was killed in this battle, or just the details, like the name and where he was killed, when he was killed. But it's been recently spotted and noticed by some people that, in fact, this information is also being censored, as in it's not being released all at once. How can you figure this out? Journalists have been noticing, the journalists who have been trying to gather this information, they've been noticing that, for instance, people who died in the same location, like in the same region, the same part of Ukraine during the same offensive, the information about their death can be posted years apart from each other. So, yeah, this censorship makes it really hard to make any sort of actual estimates, conclusions about the death toll. I am trying my best. I don't know why am I trying this? It's it's empty. It's completely empty, and I'm still trying to get something out of this tube. Like the cheapskate that I am. All right. Just my lips are a little dry, and I don't like it. Thank you. Yeah, I have my own agent. I know, Debbie. How sweet is that? He said hi to me. Do you think he's cute? Do you think he looks like JFK Jr.? Wouldn't that be cool? Yeah, like life is that kind. Anyway, thank you, Santa, once again. Thank you so much. Letting Russian soldiers sleep in Chernobyl was perfectly fine. The way they literally dug trenches there was something that no one could even predict could possibly happen. I still don't understand how it happened, why, for what. But yeah, I think it's just the prime example of the complete and utter disrespect to human life that these people are showing. And the problem that we unfortunately still sometimes exhibit, but we try, hopefully we're working on it. I'm behind. When will you be live again? In 2 days, I'm thinking. I am gonna post the event thing on my TikTok in my bio, but I think it will be better if you go to YouTube, if you're subscribed. I think most of you are subscribed to YouTube. So if you go to YouTube and press the bell, it's gonna show you the notification for my live sooner, because I also go live on YouTube as well. And you guys remember that TikTok notifications have been notoriously bad, and they just fail all the time. YouTube is better. So you can just go on YouTube, hit the bell. But the plan is, Wednesday, July 2nd for now. We've been promised some blackouts in our area, so that could get in the way of the live stream. If it does, I will post about it on Instagram. Everything's linked in my bio. Links in bio. I'm such a insufferable blogger person. Look at me. What is the vibe there about Canada's new prime minister and the war? I think Canada just in general has very good reputation here. Just by definition. Just because diaspora, because cultural connections, cultural ties. We have so many volunteers from Canada here. We have people with family in Canada. A lot of Ukrainians left for Canada. The ones who were fleeing, many of them went to, for these exact reasons. So, I think it was pretty chill. There was absolutely nothing bad that I have read in terms of coverage. I think everyone was... there was some excitement of him standing up to Trump and everything, because Trump doesn't have a good reputation here at all. So anyone who stands up to Trump is seen as wow. But even without that, I think it would have been great reputation nevertheless. So totally missed the Cobra Chicken Moose Sasquatch takeover of Russia and Trump. Oh no. Gosh darn it. Okay, you guys, I think we did all the questions. Thank you. I think so much. Can we, or do we still have anything left? Anything on YouTube? Tim, TikTok is trying to Trump talk. YouTube still has issues, but has become better somehow. I agree with that, 100%. Especially these days in light of this entire the YouTube, the TikTok sale, right? The TikTok sale is gonna happen. It's probably gonna get even worse if it actually does. If he does end up selling it to Zuck or something, I cannot even fathom what it's gonna be like. It's already glitchy, and you know what TikTok is like. So yeah, YouTube is much better in terms of notifications. Okay, did we do all the questions? Sammy's just joining, and I'm already leaving. Okay, so I think we did. All right, everybody, thank you so much. Thank you for joining. We're going to be live again in 2 days. So on July 2nd, if you're interested, thank you, Direwolf. Thank you to all of you for being here. Thank you for supporting the stream. Obviously, I wouldn't be doing it if it weren't for you guys watching. Understandably so. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you to those of you on YouTube. I really, really, really appreciate it. Thank you. Okay, I'll see you in 2 days. Go subscribe to me on YouTube and hit that bell to get the notification. Take care, stay safe, stay sane. Mwah, 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 mwah. Bye-bye. Take care. Thank you. And now we get to you guys. Thank you all for watching, of course, as always. Appreciate you all. Thank you, Colleen. It's good to be back. Thank you, Tim. Yep, respect to them, of course. The frontline people, I wouldn't be here without them. So yeah, keep them in your thoughts. Remember that they need them definitely more than me. So if you're worried about me, which hopefully you're not, don't worry about me. Just give an extra thought, an extra prayer to them instead. Thank you. Good night. Mwah. See you in 2 days on the 2nd. Bye-bye. Thank you.